What were the three? You had three main ones.
Yeah, start with what happened to the mansion. How about that? In the event this thing actually locks up, because it does like to lock up, come back and see me and I'll show you how to reset it.
Okay.
So,
question, is this supposed to be red? Like, is it dying, or?
no, that just means that's a video camera. The battery's in the lower left.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay, I see it now.
but again, if the screen locks up, just come back and see me. I'll show you how to reset it.
So what, we just like, I guess we just go around.
Wait. What were the first question?
What were your children's names?
Wait, I'm gonna be a little bit farther.
And what happened to your house?
Wait, don't walk with me.
Okay. What happened to?
Y'all believe this? Like, y'all believe this?
I don't know. I'm kind of like half like but then half
Like,
you
maybe,
know.
I don't know.
Like maybe, but
He
maybe
felt that
not.
something came up. Are you here right now?
Wait. I forgot what I'm supposed to be looking for.
The questions are you here right now? And then.
Well, the light is supposed to illuminate and whatever.
Illuminate a spot.
It's supposed to like aim it not towards the floor, but like.
I'm not aiming it.
But like come around and whatever like.
I mean, like, there's like a lighter spot, like, that I'm seeing that's not in the. Oh my gosh! Wait. I see something. Okay, keep going.
Where's that indicator? Where were you buried? Like,
Where
we
were
can't
you-
really
yeah.
know that.
Where were you
Maybe we need to-
No, which president was your pallbearer at the funeral? Which president was your pallbearer at the funeral?
I'm a bad listener.
It's okay. I'm following you, so. Am I supposed to be seeing lighter spots on the ground? Like,
I honestly forgot where your life is. Yours the one that looks like purple?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I just remember the other guys. And it's just like this is supposed to help you see things clear, and then like the light.
You're supposed to see a shadow.
Yeah, I would see something like past bird.
I could have sworn I saw something back there, Loki, like, but it didn't pass through.
What president was your pallbearer at the funeral? Right?
Yeah. Which president? Or,
Which president?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure she understands.
Like how y'all just.
I'm just watching. Because
I'm watching too.
I can't tell. What happened to your mansion? Wait, but we don't really know what they say because they have the other.
Yeah.
Like, gives it. But
That's what I wish I had. Like,
Oh, no, now they're starting.
Jordan. Oh! Tommy! Comrade, I love you.
What happened to the mansion? Oh, yeah, what happened to the mansion?
I'm about to ask the question.
Where were you buried? What was that other thing? Who are your children? You didn't ask that.
Is your hand getting tired?
No.
Okay.
I'm just like trying to listen.
I'll ask a straightforward question.
Make sure it's not a yes or no.
You said what?
Make sure it's not a yes or no question.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think.
You can ask her something about when she died, maybe, like how old she was when she died.
How old were you when you died?
I just don't.
see something
Yeah.
like that, but nothing's really past that. like this that kind of like block the thing. I know what it should look like. It doesn't have to. What do you think? Different?
No, I feel like I'm not.
Ask who are your kids.
I saw. Oh my god. I saw something too. I saw something too. It flickered.
The green light flickered.
It flickered. Okay. I thought I was the only one.
No. The green.
The red one is kind of flickering too. Yeah, the red one is flickering a little bit too.
Oh, is it me walking out?
No,
You were
no.
standing still when the green light flickered. I don't know about the red, but the green light literally flickered.
I saw it. I'm so glad you saw it too, because I was like, am I tripping?
No, because I've had it on. Wait, ask about the kids again.
How many kids did you have? How many kids did you
Do you want to go into like some corners or something?
have? Like dark corners?
Yeah.
No, it's not that far. Dang it, it's like what are you doing?
Her name's Eliza, right?
Yeah, her name is Eliza.
Eliza, what are your kids' names?
She's like, bitch, I don't want to talk to you.
Don't say that. You do not say that.
What?
Don't say bitch.
Why are you scared?
Eliza, how many kids did you have? What was another question?
Did you ask what were her kids' names?
I asked like a million times.
Um,
What? What are your kids' names? What was one of your kids' names?
Who did you marry?
Eliza, who did you marry? I'm not hearing anything now. What did y'all see? You said
It flickered,
No,
the green.
light flickered. Like I was holding it like something was blocking it. Like it flickered like
Wait, whoa. One, I heard one.
What did you ask?
I mean, we asked earlier, how many kids did you have? And I heard one. That doesn't sound right, though.
No, I thought she had more than one.
She
Because
did.
she's, yeah, they
So
both
I don't think
signed
that's picking up on, like,
something else.
yeah.
How's your camera running?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we know it's going to run fine tonight, I actually did an update on that camera, and I got like the latest and greatest thing, and it's absolutely amazing. But it no longer takes a charge, and I had to send it back to the manufacturer. That's why we're using this one tonight. So I'm really glad that it's working for us. However, I do want you to start and stop the video every couple of minutes.
Okay.
So we're going to stop it now. Go ahead and hold that button.
To start?
yeah. Seems like it. He holds it to
Yeah.
What is that? really hard to listen to. I'm hearing like this.
This is really interesting, though. I'm glad we came on this.
Right now.
I know.
Like type it down.
Or why didn't he give you like a
What
notepad?
have you guys been asked? Because I forgot.
What did you guys been asking?
You said what?
What have you guys been asking?
What? How many kids have you had? Or how many kids did you have? What are your kids? The question about the call there. What president? Or like, what was it? Brittany?
Yeah, which president was your pallbearer at your funeral?
Yeah. No, I have not. Should I have?
Ask anything.
What's the last information I'm gonna get at once? I'm like,
Do you like tell me? Can you like tell me about the indigo?
okay.
What do you know about indigo?
I mean, she's gonna give one word answers. Like,
What do you know about indigo?
what do you know about indigo?
Or you can ask her like which season is best to plant them, something like
Which
that.
season is best to plant indigo?
I don't know.
Or maybe, what am I holding? Can I ask that? Okay.
Alright, so I think I'm going to move us all to the back just because we're getting a little closer to the car. There's still a lot of people coming through.
Yeah, I know.
From everywhere we went, we had things from that specific out the most from the whole. So you can't deny all the clues that showed up about one specific thing that was so specific. You feel free to take tons and tons of pictures here, preferably of the men not working, so that would be great. We do capture a lot of orbs in here with your specific camera, so just kind of keep that as steady as you can. If you like, no, perfect. So it's the top switch. You probably just bumped it off. All right. So when we crossed the last crosswalk coming over, that's where the original Charlestown Wall used to be. So the reason why I bring you all here is because people used to live here. I have a full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here. So start talking about what names you all heard. What do you got? Beth. Okay. Ebenezer. Wow. Bill. Hang on, so we got. You got names on yours?
Yeah, I got maybe 3 or 2. Kaylee
Okay.
and Chris.
And you and I were just so no, that's fine. I actually distracted you by starting talking to you. That is touchy. So here's the thing. I normally get the same names here every 6 to 7 weeks. Unfortunately for us tonight, we're in week 1, 2 of that 6 to 7 week long loop. So we're gonna let these guys transfer. Sorry guys.
Oh, we have a beautiful one. How y'all doing?
They're good. So the names I normally get here are Benjamin and John. So that full list of residents, when I say people live here, I'm not talking like 25 to 50 people live down this little tiny alleyway. I'm only talking like 2 to 6 people at a time. So when I get the same names over and over and over again, there's a little bit of something going on here. So Benjamin and John both lived here in 1801. If we get a little confused about which John it is, because there were 4 different Johns that lived here over a 60-year time span, John will give us his last name, Johnson. Yes, his name was John Johnson. So, but when you say Beth, to me, I already hear that Ben, part of Ben or Benjamin, and you said Beth. So again, I'm going to take it both ways. I'm still going to look for an Elizabeth, see if there was maybe a possible Beth on that list. And the list isn't very long, guys. It's not like oodles and oodles of pages. It's like a page and a half. So it's not very long at all. But same names over and over again. There's a couple of reasons why I think that's actually happening. First off, Scott, I want you to take your device and I want you to, don't turn the motion part of it on, just set it on a brick and let me know how high it gets. So I'm starting to study this particular space for the next podcast episode because I'm studying the stone tape theory. Basically, here's how it works. Certain stones around the world are said to hang on to the consciousness of memories and basically stick them back to us in a residual haunting. Now, these bricks are called Belgian blocks. We are told they are made out of granite. Granite does not hold on to any kind of magnetism or EMF or anything of any sort. So if we get any numbers on those specific on your device tonight, I'm not going to be surprised because we just started doing this a few nights ago. We got it all the way up to an 11, which is pretty significant for a granite block. It's not supposed to hold on to anything. Last night, we didn't get anything. It was super weird. It went up to like a 26. That was it. But 2 nights ago, we got up to 11, and we had an 8 rating as well. So that's why I think we're here. We're dealing with the stone tape theory on why I keep getting the same names over and over again. It's just playing everything over again on a loop. Again, I keep track of where that loop is at. Right now, we're in week 1 or 2 of my 6 to 7 week long loop. How do I know? Because I got Ben, Johnson over again for like 2 or 3 nights in a row a week and a half ago. So that's kind of how I keep track of everything. So can I line it up with any moon phases or anything like that? Nope. I can't figure it out for the life of me when it's actually going to occur. All I know is it's every 6 to 7 weeks. Before people actually lived here, has it gone up to anything?
Instead of 1 to, was it 1.0 to settle down?
Okay. So before the people actually lived here that I just told you about, the Freemasons had a Masonic lodge here, hence the name Lodge Alley. We do get terms like Freemason, Mason, Brick. We've even had the term Illuminati show up on quite a few occasions. Yes, it's a chuckle because first off, who the hell is saying the word Illuminati on the radio? Yeah, and second, why am I only hearing it during the time that we're in this space? 6 times last year and twice already this year. So that we've actually heard that term. So again, I don't know who the hell is talking about the Illuminati, but that's definitely not a radio topic. Just so you guys, it's more of a podcast topic, am I right? So before, they actually did do an archaeological dig underneath these bricks. So they found that some of these people were lower class people. It makes sense because if you think about the geography of the way the wall was set up, it was on the other side of East Bay Street across from where we were walking down the road. The smell of low tide would be coming through here all the time. The rich people of Charleston are not going to put up with the smell of low tide. If you haven't had that pleasure of smelling low tide, good luck. It's nasty. So, if you've noticed down at the Battery, the houses are skinny in the front and go long backwards, right? Have you guys been down there? And even cutting through some of our neighborhood, you'll notice that. Even when we go through this neighborhood, you'll notice that. They're set up that way for a couple of reasons. First off, it keeps the smell of low tide out because the front porch is on the side. They put a front door on it to keep the smell of low tide from coming in. They open up their second story window, which allows the cool air from the water to come in. Cool air drops, heat rises, you have old school air conditioning. It's just circulating through. The second reason is because you were taxed based on how much street side you actually took. The skinnier your house, the less taxes you pay. Now, we just left the Pinckney Mansion site where I showed you a picture where it sat broad against the street. First off, they're outside the city walls. Second, Eliza's making a whole hell of a lot of money with her indigo. Next, all the other Pinckney men are politicians, so if they're paying taxes at all, they didn't care. There's more bragging rights to show off their beautiful home. So just kind of keep all of those factors in mind. I don't know if they were paying taxes or not. I never looked up their tax records. So Cece's like, can you get those tax records? I bet you I could if I dug hard enough. But again, I like to point those things out. And what's going on with your device right now is what I would still consider a man-made object because that is still a rhythm. Being steady and just super bright on one color, that's still a rhythm to me, even though it's not into a pulse or a beat. If we don't have any readings going on there, go ahead and pick up your device. So again, we tested it again, but again, so as we're walking through, if you want to put your lasers on until we exit, but all cameras will stop filming as we exit the alley because we're cutting through a neighborhood. So if you want pictures of the alley, be the last one out, turn around and go long. Same thing with all of the other cameras. Just turn around or walk backwards if you want to. Just be careful. The bricks are going to get even worse than when we started it coming in this way. Have we heard anything before we move on? Jamie, you got anything? You were like super focused, by the way. You've got like those laser eyes on you. Like they've just been like hanging on every word. Any words coming up out of you?
Grace.
Grace. That's interesting. I'll look that one up. I don't know if there's a Grace on the list, but there might be. And
I heard about sweet dreams as we were coming across that last crosswalk.
It could also be because of that candy shop that we passed by too. So again, I've had the word sweet show up by that candy shop quite often. Right there by the market. It's closed now. Did you hear anything while we've been standing here?
No, it's been kind of hard to multitask. Like,
I know.
listen to you and then also listen to me.
I know. It's not an easy task. I'm asking you guys to do that. That's what you paid for. You paid me to go to work, right? Isn't that how it works? So, all right, let's head up to that next alley. Remember,
Maybe
film
not.
takers, cameras, you're going to stop everything.
It's hard. Like, it's hard to get, like, to listen. It's,
Yes, girl. I'm still here. No, I'm not scared. Why? Girl, shut up. You should be. Who are you? Okay. Ew.
That was great.
Ow.
The people behind me did not pay to get filmed. You guys are all part of that because that's why you guys are here. You wanted to be filmed. If you wanted to snap pictures, you can. Just be discreet. You got this. Be sneaky Pete. All right. So, anything that you guys may have heard along the way?
Jesse and Valentine. And home.
That's a weird one. What'd you get? Okay. So, hang on. Jesse and
Valentine,
Valentine.
and then home. Well, right?
Yeah, it's like your
Oh, and
home.
injury. It was either injury or Andrea.
I'm going to take injury because you said it first.
Okay.
All right. Go with yours again. Well, religious terms are going to be common because we're getting closer to St. Philip's Church and Cemetery. Did you guys see the big steeple as we were exiting out of Lodge Alley? The closer we get to that, you're going to hear a lot of religious terms. So Bible, priest, pastor, those kind of things. So anything come up out of yours? I know we were all chatting. Nothing came up out of it? So I'm going to have you muted just as I tell this story just because it's a little bit of a lengthy one and I don't want to get interrupted too often. So definitely keep your REM pod off. You're probably not going to get any readings here. If you do, it's going to be false positives. So same thing for you, Cece. Any words come up on your standard?
Just a few. Summer instruction page file.
What was the last one?
File.
Vial.
B-I-L-E.
Oh, vial.
Vile.
Vial.
Like a yeah,
It could be like
V as in Victor. I thought he said B as in boy.
Nope.
So I like vial and I like injury. So here's how this story goes. Behind me stands Philadelphia Alley. It's easy for me to remember because that's exactly where Liza's buried. She's buried in Philadelphia. So kind of look at all the ties that we have in Philadelphia being down here. But it used to be called Jewelers Alley. So this is where the jewels used to occur for the city of Charleston. Every ghost tour tells the same story. Of course, I'm going to tell it a little bit differently because you're ghost hunting. You need different details than the standard campfire ghost story of what everybody else is doing. So far everything I've told you has been things that I have studied. We're going to start getting more into the campier stuff for Charleston, but of course it would be told a lot differently based on what you're actually doing. So, here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because his fiancée Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and she has an attorney helping out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that the doctor is just after Amanda's money. So the attorney tells Amanda, there's a lot of twists in that part, right? The attorney tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. To prove that the doctor's not just after Amanda's money, he moves to Charleston. He's coming into town, the postman that brought him into town, and you want to be filming the alley behind you, not basically my shorts. There you go. You got it. Otherwise, everybody's going to get the crotch shot. So, that's a very good video that I want to be passing around. But anyway, so, the coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to his stay in Charleston. That guy's name, obviously the doctor was the Joseph Brown Ladd, but somebody was walking by, he sees what's going on. His name is Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph because Ralph has the same initials as to where the doctor came from. Ralph Isaacs, Rhode Island. You're dealing with ghost hunting out here. Initials mean something. R.I. will show up quite a bit. However, we need that secondary clue because I just gave you the two main characters, Ralph and the doctor. We need to know who the hell it belongs to. So, when it does show up, we'll kind of look at the other clues and see what's going on. But Ralph says, dude, you don't want to stay here. We've got a gunman inside. He's going to try to rob and kill you and take all your cash. So, I got some friends at 59 Church Street where you can stay. You can rent a room with these friends of mine and you'll be safe. The doctor takes him up on the offer. And Ralph and the doctor become friends. So the doctor lives at 59 Church Street, obviously 59 being a big number here. So they become friends, and the doctor's practice begins to take off. He's making his own money now. Amanda's moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. I'm going to point out that every haunted city you will ever go to in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. Every single one. I've been to a lot. So this one's a doctor. Go with it. It actually works here. So With that, the doctor and Ralph go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other. Why? The doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. This is the way the hierarchy went back then. They went to go see a play, William III from Shakespeare. They talk about this play on the way home, obviously because they weren't sitting next to each other. They start arguing like Jagger. There are whistles in a lot of different songs. It is just very uncanny that we can only get those types of songs while we're outside this alley. It happens all the time. So, here's I used to take my tours all the way through. It was all about how you listen to the regular audio and not spirit boxes down there. This is before I came up with the brilliant idea to actually use, earbuds with the spirit boxes. So, wait for this puppy to get
He's really sniffing that shit.
yeah, he is. Really needed a little bit of something. This alley has a long history. Actually used to be called Cow Alley before it became Jeweler's Alley. So there's a lot of weird things that actually go on with this specific alley. I don't always like to tell why I got booted out of here when I might have a local nearby, just so you guys know as well as waiting for him to move. So here's what happened. This alley didn't come all the way through. So the other side, those bricks are older. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child at the end, along with fingerprints. And I'd always stop to point them out to show the history of how far we've actually come. Everybody wants to put a spirit box or an EMF meter near it, and I treat those bricks the exact same way I do a grave. That kid is not staring at that damn brick in the afternoon. I can guarantee you that. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 decided they're going to huddle around that one little brick with the handprint in it and see if they can get a reading. It's outside a gentleman's dining room window. So come out screaming. Very happy with me. Of course, I obviously look like the guy. So he come out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at. So she's kind of a happy girl. We move on. The next day was November 27th, Thanksgiving of that year. I did not have a tour. I worked in retail for over 20 years. I was finally going to have a Thanksgiving off. So you can imagine my delight. November 28th, I get a phone call from the tourism office asking me to either reroute my tour or only go down halfway like everybody else, because that's where the limit is. That's not considered residential. I decided I'm going to reroute my tour, and I told my team that night, once I got into this area, that we're not going to be going down the alley. We're going to see what happens at the next stop, only because I'm not a pirate person. I'm a vampire guy through and through, and I flat out told him I didn't even believe the story. Like, it was one of those kind of nights. I was kind of angry because I had to do some quick reading just to come up with something. I had a full group. It's Black Friday. So I take them up there, and before I even tell them what we're going to be discussing, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them we were going to be talking about Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. I told them what I knew at the location, and then somebody hears the number 300 out of another spirit box, and I have no idea what it means in real time. When I did my research the next morning, I found out that we were there on November 28th, 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of the pirate trial. Absolutely insane, right? Yeah. So, I have read...
I am. You did.
You got that?
Yeah, I got it.
So what are you seeing? Can I see more?
I don't see anything.
Oh, and then now this is like walking.
I just see these like circles from time to time. I guess those are the orbs. You said what? I said I just see these little like circles from time to time.
I'm happy that you say that. That really makes me happy. Like,
Really?
yes. I don't have friends that are into stuff like this. Everybody thinks it's weird.
Come on, you're holding up the rear. Just giving you a hard time. So, you guys have been very quiet tonight for, showing up as early as you did and talking my ear off as soon as we met. Like, I expected you two to, be all over, the place with chit chatter and that kind of thing. So before I have you guys actually have a seat, which you're fine, you can stay. I'd like to point out this courtyard. Over this courtyard, you'll see the wall in the background. That's the wall to Philadelphia Alley that we just talked about. But there's a gate in the middle of it. That gate was for the loser of the duel. In the event that there was a loser, the dead guy, they would bring him. Alright, so when you guys there's 15 stories on here. This is normally where sometimes, if you guys are giving me a lot that's actually relevant to a story I normally don't tell, I go into that specific story instead, where I let the evidence kind of lead us what's actually going to happen. But none of you gave me anything that's relevant to, obviously those other stories that I don't talk about. So let's get to let's talk about why every ghost tour in Charleston stops at this cemetery. You know me, first off, I'm going to give you the history before we do anything. So this is St. Philip Cemetery. There are two different sides to the cemetery. You're sitting on the eastern side. If you're from here and you belong to the church, you can get buried on this side. Charles Pinckney, the husband of Eliza, and Charles Pinckney, the nephew of Eliza, are both buried on this side because they're from Charleston. John Calhoun is across the street because he's not from here. They actually shuffled his ass back and forth trying to figure out where the hell he was supposed to go. Turns out he's not from here. He just lived here for a very long time. So that side, the western side, is actually open during daylight hours, and you can actually walk through it. There's actually a couple of other famous people in there, but we won't get into all of that because there's a lot going on. We do get clues out there on Calhoun from time to time, depending on what time of year it is. Normally in March, I'll start to see a lot of why we stop here, and we're actually going to let this tour pass through because it's exactly where we're going to go. In the event that we are done across the street, and those of you with cameras want to come back over, and there's no tour there, you're going to get some footage, take a few pictures. By all means, you can do that. Oh, you're good. Come on through. Pass on through. There you go.
Hi.
Are we going in the cemetery?
What did I talk about earlier? You don't actually get a lot of footage or any kind of evidence out of cemeteries.
Because that's not what the
And I won't say that that's like a total misnomer, but I do have, evidence from other cemeteries. This one in specific, I get more clues over here relative to this story than I do through film and footage over there, just so you guys know. So let's get into what they're actually going to drag out. I'm going to make it pretty much a three-liner. So how about that? She's like, yeah, let's do this one quick. 1888, a young lady dies by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. I just told you about initials over there with Ralph Isaac. Sue Howard Hardy's initials are SHH. Very cheesy, very corny. I hate telling you, but I've seen it and heard it for myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't even say a word. And Tanner, her initials just SH, love to show up on your spirit box, just so you know. But with that, she dies 6 days after her stillborn child. Very abrupt ending, I know. 1987, 99 years later, a local photographer is taking pictures of all the cemeteries. He captures an apparition in one of his photographs as he's trying to develop his own photographs. So again, this is why I let them have it, because it's their one show and tell. It's just, your show and tell is in your hands, obviously. So, how you doing? How's it going? Good. So, 1987, it's, obviously he doesn't know what's going on with his photographs, so he sends it to Kodak. It doesn't look like I have to explain what Kodak is to this group. I don't have any super little ones. They have no clue what the hell Kodak is. Welcome to Friday Nights in Charleston. So, Kodak doesn't know what to do with this picture either, but what I'm going to tell you about this photograph is that it is cursed to females. We have mainly females in this group tonight. I'm going to ask that nobody touch the tablet. Anybody that's handling it in a digital format, even on your cell phones and tablet, basically the same symptoms like what we talked about at Big John, the headache, dizziness, and nausea. Again, remember what my profession is here, folks. Pregnant females, probably not going to have a good pregnancy based off of the gist of the story. With a stillborn child, remember. I'm not going to be the guy where somebody had a great vacation and 9 months later I cursed your family. Is that fair? So, yeah, you chuckle, but yeah, I'm not getting that phone call and you wouldn't want it either. Just so you know. I'm going to go down 2 by 2 and show everybody the picture, and then I'll zoom in on the actual apparition so we can kind of see what they're looking at. Sorry, got lots going on in here. So, this is a full picture that he took. The apparition is right here. You're looking at her back. She's praying over her own grave, and the baby basket is actually next to her. This is probably another insert. I want to say that I don't want to clarify verify that, but I'm writing it down just in case. So, Jami, enter. We're not going to enter.
I sound like a baby crying.
You-
Well, no, it was probably some old, like lady singing, but it sounded like that. I'm sure it wasn't actually.
I've had the term cold baby show up on Tanner's device before.
Old baby. That's terrifying.
It is absolutely terrifying. So, let's get us prepped for pirates, shall we? Pirates were not fun, but we're going to do them anyway. So, just not my thing. I know a lot about pirates now, but it's still, I'm a vampire guy through and through. But we're in Charleston. You guys see the burning gas lamp down there flickering up in the distance? So that is the pirate house. So somebody does live there. So when you're walking around town, you see the big anchor on the front of somebody's home. That's the pirate house. Somebody lives there. Don't go in his backyard looking for ghosts. He also gets angry. Don't ask me how I know all of these things, but I just do. But at any rate, that's where Blackbeard's men came off their ships and had a place to stay, met with a few ladies, kind of made it a little inn for themselves. They dug a tunnel underneath that pirate house going 1 block away to where Dock Street Theater sits now. Dock Street Theater at the time was called Planters Hotel. It was a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel. We're talking pirates. The whorehouse was probably the major attraction, but pirates were our first stagehands. They probably went over there to work in between bartering with the locals. That tunnel was just filled in the 1990s, so it is not a myth or a legend. I don't know why it took us so long to fill it in, because we are below sea level down here. It probably flooded all the time. There's a couple of rumors around that tunnel that I'm going to debunk for you till I really just give you my logical thinking about this. Some rumors say that Blackbeard's treasures, part of it, is still buried underneath there. Well, BS, because we all know that treasure is in North Carolina, not South Carolina. So, you're scared enough to kill an Ocracoke if you know your pirate lore. The other part of it is that it actually extended all the way out to White Point Garden, that tunnel underneath the ground, all the way to White Point Garden. I don't know the exact distance, but I can imagine 40 to 60 men digging the tunnel to be
I saw that you guys were doing it.
So I will honestly say that this has probably been one of the most attentive, responsive groups I've ever had. Let me explain. I'm a writer. That's what I'm actually trained to do. You all are characters to me. So when I ask you guys to meet me early, I'm getting a feel for everybody. I'm looking for my chatty Cathy. I'm looking for my quiet people. I'm looking for the one that's a little bit scared. So again, that's why you guys all showed up. But as I've been talking all night long, first off, all eyes have been glued on me, especially coming from Jami. She's been like laser eyed. But I see a lot of like head nods and like kind of mentality. Like that's very responsive to me. So at least I'm not boring anybody except for Nicole, who's on 6 times. I'm just pointing it out, and it's on camera. I've counted. So I'm kidding. I'm just kidding you guys. See? I gotta get the laugh out of you guys. You guys are tentative in a way. So this one's a little bit late. So anything that makes noise or shoots lasers, please keep them on off. That will improve the spot for us. Definitely, we're going to be using it, but I want to get through this because it's going to be longer if I am distracted too much. So, we're going to be discussing the little tiny building over there with the crosses on it. I like to point out, those are not crosses, those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with earthquake bolts, because you don't live here, they're basically turnbuckles. If we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, they say you can turn those turnbuckles and straighten the building back up again. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So I can understand look and confusion on your face. So I bring these up because this is so it kept it locked into the corners as close as it could, away from the water on purpose. It's holding gunpowder. If it gets attacked from a Revolutionary warship or a pirate ship, those cannonballs are going to have a hard time getting through the 35-inch thick walls. But we're going to pretend that they do, and it penetrates it, and the gunpowder blows up. There's sand underneath those red shingles that's supposed to go up with the explosion and then fall to put out the fire of the gunpowder. That's the way it's designed. It's another great idea, but that doesn't work either. We had another powder magazine closer to the battery. It did get hit. The sand went up in the air and then fell to the ground, but the building was already burned to the ground. It's already done. So it doesn't exist anymore. This one's just never been attacked. It is a museum now. If you ever need to get out of our heat or cold, spend the $5. You're at a great little tour. So, again, nice little spot. And it's interesting to see just because of the age of it. Notice I said it's the oldest government building, not our oldest building. I give you all of this history of this space because where we are is what I call a familiar area. Anne Bonny was said to have been here during the exact same time that this building was being constructed. That's why we're here. It's like using a toy to attract a child first. Just so you guys know why I like to come to this space so much. At least now that I have evidence like 300 that I told you about earlier. So, this building, first off, took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? 10 years, small buildings? I would say no, not at all. But anyway, right in the middle of this construction is where our story actually begins. Try to follow me. Lots of twists and turns here. I'll slow down when I can. 1708, a young lady moves here by the name of Anne Cormack. She moves here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is her mother. Is everybody with me so far? The three of them are running away from his wife. Okay, everybody got it. I see chuckles and grins. Nice. So, how angry was she that she got to leave the damn country? Just saying. They land in Georgetown, just north of here, between us and Myrtle Beach. Mom dies pretty quickly after Dad buys a plantation over there. That means he has to send young Anne down here to Charlestown to be able to sell anything from the plantation and keep things afloat. Take a step backwards, Anne back home in Ireland was kind of a badass. They say she actually killed one of her servants when she was only 10 or 12 years old with a knife to the belly. So to kind of keep that mentality of this young lady as we're going through the entire story. So, we're going to fast forward. This building was done in 1713. Pirates are coming through town in 1715. Anne is stoked. She's about 16, 17 years old at this time, roughly, because again, talking pirate lore. She falls in love. This guy's name is James Bonny. Anybody guess where we're going with this one? I figured as much. Dad doesn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They run away to Jamaica. They get married. Anne Cormack becomes Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of her golden age. Her career started basically in the city that we're standing in. So, this is not the swashbuckling Captain Jack Sparrow kind of guy that she was looking for. This guy is a privateer. He's a spy for the British. This guy's a... Alright. Nice job, ladies.
Cool.
That's how you guys are all involved.
Yes.
You were like super cool too. You were because your eyes like stand out. Oh my gosh, you're like
I'm so cold. God. That sounded like George Bush.
We heard like
Three, yeah, we did. Yeah, we heard three.
on the way here.
You heard what?
I heard
three.
just in
three.
like together. Like before. Like it was like a statement.
Are you hearing things? Hold on, wait. We have to be a little bit further back so that
we're over here like chasing you. You wanna go closer to the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the yeah, I'm supposed to go around.
Oh, thanks for doing this with me, guys. I really appreciate
I
it.
know you do something like this before you even post it.
I didn't know what to expect, honestly.
I mean, I didn't know.
I thought, well, there was another
something in
tour.
the realm.
Right. Alright.
And
Hold
I'm
on.
really interested to try new
Okay.
Yeah, same, Amber.
things.
I just appreciate that about you guys. Wait, but isn't your shadow
That
gonna
my
get in the
shadow
way?
isn't, no. Because it literally, it's different if it counts.
Oh, so you
under,
guys saw like a
it's just
blink.
shadow. Yeah, like a
Gotcha. Access.
I heard time earlier.
You heard time?
Yeah, in United States.
Okay, I heard access. And then I heard yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Road. It's like we're playing.
Single.
Ooh, let's go. What were the questions? What was the main questions? Good, try it. That might work. What was the first question that you said?
I don't remember.
Not are you here?
Are you with us?
Are you with us I feel like we need to be specific. What were their names again?
And I don't remember the other
And
person's
are you
name.
here with us? You wanna walk over here, like closer to the corner?
Ask like, where are you from? Yeah. Where do you live?
And where do you live? That sounded like it was a response.
I know, right?
And where do you live?
30%.
30%.
And what happened to you?
And what happened to you?
And which of your husbands did you love the most?
Oh! What'd she say? Type of, I said what'd she say? Like, she's like, type of gel. I heard type of gel. Yeah.
I love her. I didn't expect that.
Y'all want to go back to the cemetery too?
Yeah.
We're all good.
In your experience?
In my experience, we get more over here.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
But everybody likes to see a cemetery on a cemetery tour.
Yeah, like
So that's the whole, and I did try to get access to another cemetery that's just beyond here. I was going to add it at the end and take out Big John's, but it turns out that the other corporate tour that we have here in town is the only one that have access to it. which
that's
is fine.
okay. Yeah, that's
because we don't
totally
get a
okay.
whole lot out of it anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you want to go check out the cemetery, by all means do so.
Awesome.
I heard New York.
You heard New York?
Yeah.
I'm not keeping track of the words anymore. I forgot. What were the first words we heard?
I heard time.
30%?
Yeah, 30% United States. I heard here with us. Is she here with us?
I hate that. I hate that. I hate it. I'm writing these down because we're hearing a lot.
Who is your love?
Who is your love, and
Wait.
what?
This literally like
You got it on
it
video?
literally this like
Hold on.
literally went like in and out like the light.
So you used 30%.
Like the green light literally like went in and out when I was asking her. I was like asked to.
But he said that we're supposed to see stuff solid, and I feel like
No,
I
it
haven't
was
seen
not now. It was
anything.
like literally seconds ago. Yeah. Ask questions.
Continuously.
And what was life like being a pirate? I don't know.
Ask and what are pirates like?
And what are pirates like? I don't know what questions to ask.
Anything.
And did you enjoy being a man?
And were you ever hurt? Oh, I guess not. Did you say kind of? Did I hear kind of? I feel like he said.
Oh yeah, no,
Try to
yes or
avoid
no,
yes or
yeah,
no,
no,
yeah.
yes or no questions.
And how were you hurt?
And what was it like living as a man?
Someone we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Should we go over to the thing?
Yeah. The cemetery.
Prayer is
Prayer? Yeah. Oh, this is scary. Low-key. Oh, this is so creepy to look at.
Yeah.
Y'all wanna go? What are the other questions?
Ask her what.
later.
And were you hurt on the ship?
Not if.
Oh yeah. How were you
What
hurt?
did you ask and what did you do on? What do you do on the trip?
What do you do on the ship? What did you do on the ship? And what did you do on the ship? What did it say?
I don't know. I didn't hear.
Hey, Lizzo. I don't like it.
Video games.
Play video games.
And are you still here with us? Oh, that's a yes or no question.
Right.
Or ask what she likes. What do you like or what do you enjoy or something?
And what do you enjoy doing? Anything.
Huh?
I heard anything.
Give you a choice. And he will give you a choice.
I'm writing these down because I'm not going to remember.
Ask and what do you play?
And what do you play? And what do you play? Where are we walking?
And what did you do before you became a pirate?
Do a crosswalk.
How far are y'all trying to walk?
Yeah, let's go back.
We're going back. There's a crosswalk to go back.
I was saying we should go back in the go through the garage.
I know
the parking lot again.
actual crosswalk.
Oh.
That's why I was like,
Yeah, I'd like to go through the parking lot again. Look, they're doing stuff.
And what was your maiden name?
Perfect place. Presenting my request to you. Oh shit.
Careful.
We heard prayer. Play video games.
You know, what's funny is I'm actually playing a game right now that has the Anne Bonny story in it, just so I can get another version of it.
That's so
crazy.
weird. Yeah. We heard, and then we asked, what do you enjoy doing? Anything? It's like right as soon as we asked that. And he will give you a choice. Perfect place. And presenting my request. And we probably heard a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more in there. Okay. All right, we're all over here, so let's head over to the wall. Let's head on over this way. Come on, guys. You got something? Ooh, you guys warmed me out. Get enough sleep from last night. Alright, so the things I'm kind of excited about, you guys heard 30%.
That was like the first thing
It
we
was
heard,
very
yeah.
clear,
When
too.
you were-
It was clear as day.
Close to the Sue Howard Hardy grave over there.
Yeah.
She was actually 29 when she died. It's not specific enough for me to say that it would be relative unless we have the words like nearly or almost, you know, those kind of things pop up. But you guys did hear the number 16 earlier, and I want to say that Sue Howard Hardy died on June 16th of 1888. I'm not for certain, I'll double check it. Lots of religious terms that you guys gave me, that's pretty common around here, so prayer and you know, those kind of things. So that's pretty common. Now and today, and what's weird is yesterday was the anniversary of Eliza Pinckney's death, and I expected a lot of those kind of words yesterday, like on last night's investigation at the Pinckney Mansion site. So it's just weird that you started giving me those things. Promise to the Constitution. So again, I do get the word promise over here all the time, and again, I withhold information purposely. One of the common things I hear over here, and it's relative to, we have the number 80 as well. So the rumor is that Anne Bonny actually died in 1782. So I'll be looking for the number 2 since he has the number 80 on there, and she was 84 when she died. So But the number that I normally hear over here is 7. It's actually relative in 3 different ways. If I hear it twice, from Philadelphia Alley to here, it's usually relative to the doctor. His birthday was July 7th, 7/7. So again, and it usually, like last night, it actually showed up as 577. Like we heard it together. So I was like, oh, definitely relative to the doctor. If we hear it singly in the name John Calhoun is buried on the other side of that wall. He was our 7th vice president. If I hear 7 in war, this served 7 different wars. So again, I get the number 7 over here all the time. I never look for it. It just pops up that way. Just so you guys know. I don't look for these things. I write down a lot of things for you guys' data, so we'll see what actually pops up. This, I'll be honest, was a little lighter than what we normally get as far as actual evidence. You guys gave me a lot of first clues, but again, I told you I'd be honest with you from the very beginning. You guys are starting to get much better at listening as far as your spirit box activity, so we'll kind of see what I find, and then of course you'll have the full recordings to be able to go through them for yourself. I spot check all media, so for every 5 minutes of recorded audio or video, I listen to 1 minute. Whatever I hear, I write down or give you the marker for. If it's in a video, I will obviously give you the still shots if I can capture it that way. YouTube doesn't always allow me to do that. So with that said, let's go ahead and stop those videos. I'm going to